I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. COVID-19 continues to spread as cases rise in Flagler County. Health Officer Bob Snyder breaks down where we stand.
The number of cases that have now increased to 434, increased hospitalizations for COVID-19 illnesses, increased emergency room visits for a COVID-like illness, and the positivity rate is up as well, 6.4% during the last 14 days compared to less than 1% just 3 weeks ago.
Snyder calls the trends concerning. Their message continues to be
facial covering, mask wearing, social distancing, good hand hygiene, and avoiding large crowds.
The Flagler Beach City Commission and the Bunnell City Commission each unanimously passed a mask mandate last night, similar to the one passed by the city of Palm Coast Tuesday night. The mask mandate carries no penalties and will not be enforced by local law enforcement. With COVID-19 numbers on the rise in the state and locally, the mask mandate is an attempt to stop the spread of the disease.
Sometimes in government, we have to protect the public from themselves. And in this particular scenario, I totally agree with making the mask mandatory. Yes, if there are health issues and a person can't wear the mask, there's always exceptions. But I'm one of those guys at age 77 that's in that high-risk category, and I'm trying to make it to 78. That's all I have to say.
That's Palm Coast City Council member Jack Howell with what turns out to be his final appearance as a council member at a Palm Coast City Council meeting. He resigned from his District 2 seat yesterday after close to 2 years of service. He said he resigned because his cancer has returned and that battle needs 100% of his attention. Jack Howell is a decorated Vietnam veteran, and he says most of his medical issues are a result of being exposed to Agent Orange during the Vietnam War. The Palm Coast City Council has 30 days to fill his vacant council seat. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Rich Carroll. Maybe the question is, who is wearing face masks?
Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley said there is a specific group of residents wearing them.
Being out in the community a lot, I tend to see our older residents are certainly wearing masks for the most part.
Sheriff Staley said that it is the younger people who are not wearing face masks nor social distancing. He said that because of the recent protests, he thinks there could be a spike in coronavirus cases. State Senator Travis Hudson said that the messaging to the younger people to wear masks and social distance is not out there now.
So I think the message just stopped resonating to the younger generation. And at the same time, we opened things up and they just kind of forgot or got a little complacent, and that's why you're seeing that spike in that younger crowd.
Hudson said that younger people coming down with COVID-19 has been a wake-up call for them, and they are wearing face masks and social distancing. To listen to the interview with Senator Hudson, Representative Renner, and several others, download the Flagler Radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
Palm Coast may finally get its first real look at how much COVID-19 there is in its community. They're planning to test sewage for the virus. With more, here's Tony Magoo.
It's better to do it and find out that we don't have a problem than to find out that we have a problem because we didn't do it. That, according to Palm Coast City Councilman Eddie Branchino. The city, dividing its territory into 6 sewage zones, can then create a heat map showing which areas have the highest concentration of shed virus particles. The World Health Organization has used it to track typhoid, and it's also been used to monitor communities for evidence of illicit drug use. It's a novel application, but it's a very practiced methodology, City Manager Matt Morton said during a City Council meeting Tuesday evening. He added,
"This combination is proven useful, and this is for the city's purpose, for planning, implementation, and evaluation of public health practices, safety measures, and decision making."
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
We look forward to moving past this.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office may finally be rid of its defunct operations center. A buyer offered more than $800,000 for the property following an open house last month, according to county records. County Administrator Jerry Cameron.
My latest information is we got one, and that one met the minimum criteria of the Board of County Commissioners. They had 3 options, and one option was to sell it if possible, and if not, then to demolish it and keep the land for future sale or future use. So I anticipate there won't be any difficulties with this.
Cameron says the deal to buy the property, which has sat vacant since it was evacuated in June of 2018 and later found to contain mold, will be voted on by county commissioners at their next meeting Monday. We're continuing our look at the candidates for the 7th Circuit Public Defender position. John Arking has more.
Matthew Metz of Daytona Beach is one of the 3 candidates on the August 18th ballot for the public defender's position, which is responsible for representing defendants who can't afford their own attorneys in Volusia, Flagler, St. Johns, and Putnam counties. The office oversees more than 80 attorneys and 50 support and administrative staffers. Metz tells WNZF that having a good management style will be key, which he says in his case is lead from the front.
I don't intend to completely just do management. I intend to take a handful of cases for a number of reasons. One, I want to make sure I understand all of the hardships and the issues that my assistant public defenders are having the entire time. And I want to keep myself sharp on the law. And that's hard to do if you don't have an active case file in front of you. The law is constantly changing in Florida. We've recently had a new Supreme Court judges appointed to the bench, and it's already changed the face of how criminal law works.
Also on the ballot August 18th is St. Augustine attorney Anne-Marie Janusa and George Burden, who works in the appeals division with the Public Defender's Office. Metz, who has worked for the Public Defender's Office since 2011, was asked what sets him apart from his competition.
I'm the only candidate who's a board-certified trial attorney. That means I've got special expertise that's been conferred upon me by the Florida Bar. I had to take a day-long exam. I had to go and do rigorous background tests as well as provide samples of my work to the Florida Bar. And that was so I can be deemed an expert in criminal trial law. And I'm also the only candidate who's currently supervising 10-plus felony attorneys. I'm the felony division chief of the largest trial division. So what you're getting with me is both vision for the future and the energy and the experience to run it all.
Because all of the candidates running for the 7th Circuit Public Defender are Republicans, the August 18th primary will be the election. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.